Welcome back to the Cascade Valley Coyotes offseason. We're about to see what happens. We were fresh off a national championship, but do we rebuild and do incredibly well? Does Forward leave? Does he stay? What happens with the positions? We got a lot to figure out. So things get really spicy here for Cascade Valley. Oklahoma State signs our offensive coordinator. We are really struggling to keep an OC year after year or a DC year after year now that our defense is much better. But our offensive coordinator, Nick Sheridan, goes on a 5-year contract to Oklahoma State University. We're going to be playing them. You better believe that. And continuing a trend that we've had, what feels like for offseason after offseason now, John Rudzinski is going to be leaving as our defensive coordinator. He now goes to Ohio. He thinks that's a better job. You can win national championships, or you can go to Ohio and not recruit dudes that go to Ohio State or Michigan or one of the other universities around there. Okay, buddy, we're in Ohio too. We're going to be playing Ohio sometime. Maybe not now. They're like low in the totem pole. I know a lot of you guys like to see the stats in full after the national championship game. Forward goes for 3,800 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Honestly, I think it's one of his best seasons ever. And if you're looking at his career, I mean, this dude balled out. He had the highest QB rating he's ever had at 201.7. He had 214 completions. This is the second highest he's ever had. The most passing yards he's ever had with 3,871. 34 touchdowns, the second most. 7 interceptions is half of his second highest that he's ever thrown. So he balled out there as well. I'm really proud of how he played. Yes, he got injured. Yes, he had some problems overall, but Forward was what we needed him to be. A dynamic player leading this team to the national title. And though Patrick McDonald finished it out, Forward was still a huge part of that. On the ground, Tyrell Brown, again, your Heisman winner, 1,451 yards, 25 rushing touchdowns. Forward had 8 with 1,000 rushing yards as well. If you look at the rushing side of his career, we can check that out really quick. He had 3,073 rushing yards in his career with 32 rushing touchdowns in total, 8 this season. I mean, again, a dynamic player. On the receiving side, Tyrell Brown led us in receptions, 58 for 926, 4 receiving touchdowns, 7 for Porter Ryan. We're going to see 8, though, from Jalen Clark, the most we had from anybody this year. Fernie finishes with 5 this season. He's going to finish with 14 receiving touchdowns in his career. None his freshman year, then 5, 4, and 5 again. 30 receptions, tying his most he's ever had. Second most receiving yards as well. This dude was an absolute stud. Defensively, Christoph Houston, I mean, are you surprised? 120 tackles for him, 33 of those for a loss, 8 sacks by Kendall Owens led us. Our interceptions leader was going to be Desmond Simmons, 7 for him on his career right now. He's doing incredibly well. He had 4 his freshman year, 7 his sophomore year. He can maybe make a play for what we saw from some of our other guys like Hemphill. And then defensive touchdowns, only 2 this season, kind of low for us, but Michael Lanier and Christoph Houston both got in the end zone. And because kickers are people too, Evan Shepard, who is our punter, ended up being our kicker with 17 for 17 this year. Wubendi Dace is an incredible name, but as a kicker, he's not really all that good. His long was 38. Shepard hit a 48-yarder. He's probably going to be our guy, assuming he's back next year. The big thing for us now is to figure out who is leaving, who is staying this upcoming year, and we are about to get gutted. Oh my God. So Forward is leaving. We kind of projected and planned for that, which is why we have the quarterback situation that we do. Fertney's gone. He's a senior. McDonald's gone. He's obviously a senior as well. So we technically have 2 quarterbacks projected to be in the first round from the same school at the same time. That's kind of wild. Maybe the first time ever in history that happened. Jalen Clark, obviously a senior, but Antonio Vaughn projected to leave as a redshirt sophomore. I would kind of like for him to come back, but if he wants to go, we'll see. I mean, the chances, oh my God, we have no chance to get him back. Promise you will not regret staying to get your college degree. Yeah, he does not care. He is not coming back. I mean, I don't want to guarantee any of these. A conference championship, maybe. I'm going to need some more time. Yeah, we have no chance to get him to come back. We're going to just let him go. Porter Ryan's a junior. He's leaving. I kind of expected that as well. We're not going to be able to get him back. Kendall Owens is gone. Kendall Johnson is a junior, a redshirt. Can we get him to come back? Maybe for his college degree. He's still uncertain. Guaranteed conference championship. Yeah, he wants an award, so we're not getting him back either. Amir Carson. I mean, Chris Wade, a lot of these guys are seniors that are projected to be very good. Wakefield, a junior. Christoph Houston is staying. Thank God. We needed some of our top talent to stay. So Christoph Houston that he's going to stay, which is great for his senior year. Mikkel Smith will come back. That's big. We also get Garrett Neely back, our right tackle. These are all massive guys coming back for us. Durant's gone. Reggie Wilson, the right guard, is, I mean, you're a 5th rounder. Is that really going to change your life? Yeah. You want to get your college degree, buddy? Yes. He's back. We got him. Shackelford is going to be out as well, projected 7th rounder. And then the rest of these guys are graduating. Burris, our fullback for the longest time, has been there. I mean, George Fry, who I thought was going to be the greatest linebacker in school history, ended up not being. There's some good guys leaving, but we at least got some of our underclassmen to stay. Now, with the players leaving sorted out, we actually got our new defensive coordinator, which is Bo Pelini. That is a name I haven't heard of in a long time, but we have him over here in Cascade Valley. So a guy that was a head coach is not going to be a head coach here. We'll probably leave in the offseason as well. And then Zach Hill, who I think was an OC from what I was reading at Boise State for a while. I think he was at Arizona State for a little bit, then was forced to resign over recruiting allegations. Now he's coaching in high school. We brought him here to Cascade Valley to see what he's got. Now, as for the players that actually went to the NFL draft, here's the ultimate win. Fertney in the first round. McDonald in the first round. Oh my God, chat. I can't believe this happened. Look at all these guys in the first round, but I'm not seeing Warren Fullwood. Warren Fullwood is a shorter quarterback. Warren Fullwood did not get drafted. Are you kidding me? I am blown away by the fact that Warren Fullwood did not get drafted because he's under 6 foot. But McDonald goes in there. There's a lot of haters of Warren Fullwood. There's a lot of people that love Warren Fullwood, but I cannot believe that he didn't get a single flyer drafted there. That is unbelievable. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 first rounders. We're the new Alabama. Now, from a signing day perspective, we did not get 2 outside linebackers. We wanted Manoah Murphy and Denzel Williams. Both those guys went elsewhere, and honestly, that's okay. Jay Bone really is the prize here out of North Carolina, North Kakalaki. This guy is going to be very good. He's going to play wide receiver. He's going to play corner. He's going to be in the backfield sometimes. Might even play a gadget QB. This guy is going to be everywhere. He's our Iron Man. He's our Travis Hunter. We ended up having Grant Cox as well, who could play quarterback, but we don't need him to do that because we already have Taylor Reed. He's going to end up playing some form of wide receiver for us. And then we get a defensive end, Jesse Rivers, and that all together gives us the #1 class in college football. And if you don't believe me, look at it right here. Cascade Valley has 4 5-stars, 8 4-stars, 12 3-stars, and 1 2-star, which we're not going to talk about that. But overall, this is an incredible class, highlighted with Straughter, Taylor Reed, Killins, and Boehm. I'm blown away we have that many 5-stars, but this is going to be a very good team, and we needed to be a very good team because we have to replace a lot of talent that just went to the NFL draft. 7 first-rounders. One of the wild things to me right now is that Jay Boehm is coming in as the highest rated player before workouts. We have some guys that potentially will be higher rated, like Michael Lanier, after the workouts, but Jay Boehm is listed as the highest rated player for us. Now, they're saying quarterback. We don't need him at quarterback because we already have some guys there, and we need Boehm to play more positions than what we need our other guys to play. So we're going to have him as a corner because if we have him at corner, he can still play wide receiver. If we have him at wide receiver, he can't still play corner. So we're going to have him right there, and I feel like he's going to be very good. Now, Grant Cox is a guy that's an 84 overall, JUCO, 6'4 overall, 250. He's a massive human being. Wide receiver, he's an 81 overall. That's where he's going to ultimately be playing for us. Now, Reggie Kraft is an interesting guy. He's a JUCO as well. He's a 78. We're going to kind of see where he ultimately fits, but at free safety, he'd be an 81, which will put him over DJ Mangiero. Now, he's faster than Mangiero. You never know if injuries could happen. Some of these guys could blossom up a little bit. We do have Adesanya, who's going to be coming there at some point too. But I think we're going to put him ultimately at free safety because he will at least compete for that starting job. Mangiero was great, but an 81 overall coming in should be pretty solid as a JUCO. Now, our running back room has Roderick Johnson. Tyrell Brown should be rated significantly higher than him going into this next season. But we don't really have much after those guys. I think we need somebody in there to just kind of be waiting in the wings. And Demetrius Thompson could be that guy. He's 5'9", he's 174, but maybe he ends up being a halfback of the future. If he doesn't, it's not a big deal. But at 80 overall, we got to at least put him there. Maybe he's redshirted, but he's going to be there for depth. Next up, we got Brady Sickles, who is 6'6", more than likely a redshirt this year because he's 86 speed, but he can play wide receiver, potentially tight end, but he doesn't really have attributes for that. But we will use him as a wide receiver at some point in his career. Lucius Thomas is interesting. He's got 83 speeds, is 72 overall. His highest position for us would be wide receiver. We're going to ultimately put him there, but I don't know if he even makes the team after this. And then last but not least, one of our final guys to change here for position standpoint at athlete will be Desmond Scaife Jr. He's 88 speed, but he has 95 acceleration. He's going to be a little bit higher rated at a 79 overall, which is a massive jump, honestly. It means he's a lot of potential wide receiver. We're going to put him there. Probably makes the team 100% redshirted, but there's a lot of decisions to make for the cut. Okay, so I know I said that Grant Cox was going to be a wide receiver, but our wide receiver depth chart is insane. And I need a third-string quarterback, so we're going to go ahead and put him as our third-string quarterback, just in case we happen to get an injury with our freshman quarterback. So our quarterback depth chart now looks like this. Taylor Reed, 91 overall. Again, not fast. We're doing a pocket quarterback for the first time in Cascade Valley history. Behind him, we have Mac Thornhill, 85 overall, redshirt freshman out of North Carolina. Then we have Grant Cox coming in to be the guy that if we need him for some way, shape, or form, he's going to be our fastest quarterback, mind you, then we'll be able to use him. But he's a JUCO. Maybe he can provide some insight, but he's an emergency guy. Now we've hit the really important part of the offseason, our training results to see how our team ultimately improved. At quarterback, Mac Thornhill goes up to an 89 overall, going up +4. We're going to see at halfback where Derek Johnson goes up to an 85. Tyrell Brown only up +3. Maybe it didn't work that hard in the offseason. Too many commercials being a Heisman, but he's still going to be our starter. And wide receiver, we've got Mikael Smith. Remember, these are only returning players. We have freshmen that are incoming as well. But Mikael Smith goes up to a 91. Jeremiah Butler goes up big +5 to a 90. We get 85 for Mac. 81 for Isaacs with a big +5, and Jason Vaughn's up +5 as well. And tight end McBride's been balling out in the offseason. 93 +5. He played a lot, or played a decent amount as a regular freshman. Now he's in here as well. Marquette Renee coming into his junior season as well. Looks pretty good. 87 for our left tackle with a +6. That's huge. Gurley doesn't really go up much though, which is interesting. We're gonna see a left guard. We have an 86 with a +2 for Hairston. Center we're now at a 90 and an 80 respectively. Right guard we're up to an 88 and 74. Right tackle is going to be a 94, the +6 for Neely, a +7 for Ryan Gunter, the redshirt freshman, which means he's going to be really good next year. And then Cross goes up +5. Left end, we're now up to an 82 with Pollard. Right end, an 89 for Anthony Odiari, who was so good last year, and now he's nearly a 90, probably going to the NFL next season. At defensive tackle, Sharon Poe is a redshirt freshman as a 94 overall. Our defensive line will be much better this season. 87 for Wilkins. Kirkendall actually goes down 1, which I'm kind of sad to see, but Lopez goes up 2. Outside linebacker on the left side, we get +4 across the board for Keyshawn Anderson, Parker Heinrich, and Demetrius Williams. We get a middle linebacker upgrade here with Donnell Gamblin going up +3. Christoph Houston goes down 1. He comes back for his senior season, and he goes down 1, which means that he's not even the highest rated guy we have. He will still be the starter, but expect Gamblin to get some PT as well. Outside linebacker on the right side is going to be P.O. Clark going up +3 with our guy Morgan Williams going up +1. At corner, going to see Rodriguez Gibson going up +3. Simmons doesn't go up much here, which I'm kind of shocked to see with how well he played last year. +3 for Travion Wilson, +5 for Byers. At free safety, we're going to see Mangiero go up +3 with Miles Smith up +2, and Adesanya, the guy that we cannot wait to be starting, up +4. Strong safety is going to be Lanier going up +5. Kenneth Clark, obviously a little frustrated here, goes down 2, and then Hendrick goes up 2. At kicker, Wubendi Dace goes up 2, but he's just kind of chilling on the roster as Evan Shepard is really the guy kicking the ball mostly. He goes up +4. Now, from a cut player standpoint, we only have to cut 8 players to the point. So it could be a lot worse, but I think we can make this work. They brought in Scott Griffin as sort of a walk-on, and he will be walking off of this team. At running back, you can kind of see we have a lot of guys here. Bowden is a guy with 86 speed, never playing for us. You can see that Kagan is a guy that is a bust and is never playing for us as well. We've cut it down to 4 people. We'll leave it kind of at that. Wide receiver is really tough because we have 400 people at wide receiver. Lucius Thomas, a new recruit, but 83 speed, buddy. That's not going to cut it. Good luck walking on somewhere else. Brady Sickles, Benjamin Haycraft. I got some questions. Tony McNeil is the guy I think is going to be a little bit of a cut day casualty. Strength isn't very high, probably the weakest we have in the team. We have a lot of freshmen ahead of him. We have 4 freshmen ahead of him. I would rather he go somewhere else because he won't get really playing time here. Looking at our middle linebacker situation, I mean, do we keep Chapman on the left side? We got a couple of guys maybe could slot in there as a backup. We've got a senior, though, in Demetrius Williams, who's been fun, but, I mean, he's got a freshman and a sophomore ahead of him, so he's not going to play. There's a lot of decisions to make here. Miles Smith is talented, but I don't think he's going to end up making it. Adesanya's fun, but, oh, man, this is tough. I just think as a junior, being the bottom of the depth chart, we're going to keep Adesanya, and we're going to let Miles Smith go. We're down to 2 people left that we have to cut here. I think Kenneth Clark didn't really have a good offseason. I think we want to let him go at strong safety. You know, best of luck to him in the transfer portal. Perry Kendrick, I think, is also going to be a guy that ends up getting let go because we have Lanier ahead of him. We've got Paguz, who's going to be our main guy next season when Lanier likely goes to the NFL. And then Roll back here competing as well. So I think, Kendrick, you're going to be the last cap casualty, and we'll be seeing you. Oh my God, I forgot we recruited a kicker. We've got Materko, who I would assume is going to be better. Let's see what his, we get his kick 78 for accuracy. And then for Dace, we've got his skills. What do we have here? 74, 79. Yeah, I think we saw enough from Wubendi to let us know that he's not going to be the guy. We're actually going to be under the number we need. And so probably could have saved one of those guys, but it's fine. We're going to be good. One of the hardest things to do each season is to actually go through and redshirt our players. So a couple of guys to talk about. We're not redshirting a quarterback this year because we don't know what's going to happen with Reed or Thornhill, and we might need Grant Cox, so we're keeping him available. At running back, we're only redshirting Demetrius Thompson because I expect next year him to take over Roderick Johnson's job. Maybe he goes to the NFL, maybe he doesn't, but it's always going to be Tyrell Brown 1, Johnson 2, and Thompson could compete in the 3rd year. At fullback, nothing there. Wide receiver, we're going to be doing the bottom 4 guys. So Scaife Jr., Shannon Hicks, Brady Sickles, and Jamin Haycraft. With how many wide receivers we lost this year, we're obviously going to lose Smith. We could potentially lose Jeremiah Butler. We're going to lose Mack as well. We need these freshmen to be boosted up a little bit because we're going to have a lot of work cut out for us next year. Tight end, we're only going to be redshirting Haney because he's nowhere close to being able to be competing. Gurley's getting redshirted this year as well because he has a junior ahead of him, but he will obviously be playing next season. Nobody at left guard. Our center, we're going to do Charles Awara will be redshirted, the 84 overall freshman. At right guard, no one will be redshirted. Right tackle, the same thing. No one's going to be redshirted. We've got a lot of competition on the offensive line, as you can tell. At defensive end on the left side, Hendricks will be redshirted because we want to preserve his future. He's got 2 upperclassmen ahead of him. At right end, Garrettson will be redshirted. I know what you're probably thinking. We don't really have much depth there. We got a lot of defensive tackles. Some of those guys can fill into this spot. Then at defensive tackle, we have a 94 overall redshirt freshman, which is crazy. So Mr. Aragarros Walker will be redshirted this season and will be a starter next year because Brian Wilkins goes to the NFL. At outside linebacker on the left side, nobody's touched there. At middle linebacker, Christoph Houston, despite pissing me off with how little he trained this year, will still be there. Right outside linebacker, though, Morgan Williams will end up being redshirted. We're probably not going to be starting P.O. Clark here. We're probably going to take either Donnell Gamblin or Christoph Houston and put him at the right outside linebacker spot. And then we go to our next area, which is corner. Only one guy will be redshirted. It'll be Isaiah Straughter, who is super talented and is incredibly good, but he needs an offseason to get a little bit better, and he's a ton of guys ahead of him. He has to compete. We're going to lose likely Gibson and Simmons next year. Byers as well, so we're going to need some people to fill in. At free safety, Reggie Kraft will be redshirted because he, again, has Mangiero ahead of him. He could compete for that job, but Mangiero was really good, and Adesanya is still here too. And then at strong safety, Paguz and Roll are both going to get redshirted because what could ultimately be happening here is that we could see Paguz be our strong safety starter next season, and Roll could technically be our free safety starter next season if Adesanya doesn't have a good training year and he's kind of slower, so we'll kind of figure it out. Or maybe it's Reggie Kraft, but I want to have options there. And then a kicker, it's Materko. Punter, it's Evan Shepard, and that is our red shirts for this year. I feel good. From a schedule standpoint, we're opening it in week number 2 with our first game of the season against Oklahoma State because our offensive coordinator left and we want to see what he's got cooking up over there. It won't be enough, I promise you. From there, we go to week number 4 against number 5 UCF, a rematch of the national championship game. Should be a fun one. Then we go to West Virginia after playing home against UCF. Then we go at Indiana, home versus number 13 Iowa, at number 7 LSU, home versus number 14 USC, at Purdue, which is always a very tough game. We've lost against them so many times. Home versus UCLA, home versus number 20 Nebraska, at Minnesota, at Wisconsin to finish the season. And then hopefully we're playing the conference championship and winning that and on our pursuit back for the national title. The next time you see the Cascade Valley Coyotes, we will be jumping into the season to see if we can defend home turf. Little bit of a game. What do we do? OK State, it's time to show the OC that he should have stayed here. Because that job, we're about to get that man fired. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love him. Catch you guys on the next one.